Sports on Tap is brought to you by Go To Pro Plumbing, Land and Sea Motorsports, On the Bay Customs Boutique and Cafe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
I don't know what we're yelling about!
I mean, listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game. We're talking about practice.
Loud noises!
Not a game.
This is the first time in my life I'm glad I'm deaf.
We're talking about practice, man.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
65.
63. Knew it, I'm surrounded by assholes.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping. With news that's jaw dropping, they getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening and you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go and all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Welcome to this week's edition of Sports on Tap. I'm Chris Scott alongside Joe Waddell and Frank Giagata. Gentlemen, how are we?
Feels good to be back.
Good to have you back.
Doing well.
Yeah,
glad to have you back.
Glad to have you back for sure. Everybody's holiday good?
Yeah. Mine was great. I can't complain at all, which is rare because I don't like this time of year most of the time. But I feel like I'm one of the only people this year that actually is enjoying it. So
normally I'm the one trying to talk him into getting into the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
It was complete reverse roles this year.
Yeah, I when we talked about this last week, obviously I'm not the biggest fan of Christmas, just from work experience and things like that. Right. But overall, it was good. Around family, and then around a bunch of screaming little kids. I think that's like the best, the best advertisement for birth control I've ever seen. But it's what it is.
I love my munchkin, so I can't say anything.
I was going to say I got one thing that can one up that, but we'll talk about it later.
Fair enough. But overall, it was a good holiday. It was nice to have some time off, especially off work, which was great.
That was great.
It was, yeah. So not enough time, but it's overall, I can't complain too much about it. So, anyways,
good shit. I hope everybody out there had a happy holiday too.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope Santa Claus was good to you.
Santa Claus was good to me. I got some cool shit. So
I see he brought you Thomas Magnum.
Damn right. The only dude that should ever have a mustache.
Magnum PI.
Period. It was maybe Burt Reynolds, but he's dead. So cross him off.
Yeah,
right.
Cross him off. Well, cross him off then.
Okay, give me the pen. I'll cross him off. Burt Reynolds is crossed.
I mean.
It's holidays. I love Major League references.
Right.
I just love movie references.
I mean, it's the holidays, and like Frank said right before the show, the only reason why you knew it was Tuesday is because we're doing a show tonight.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm kind of in the same boat. It's like, wait, it's Tuesday. Shit. All right.
Right. Like it just these 2 weeks.
Right. It's
so hard to keep.
It's
track
anarchy.
of time.
Like anything goes. Like the last 2 weeks of the year, it's like anything goes. And you have no idea what day it is. It's like, all right, cool.
I had to work yesterday and today, so I knew what days they were.
Oh, fair. Yeah. I had to work today, so
yeah, I knew exactly what fucking day it was.
Dude, I don't have to work for another week in one day.
That's it.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Days blend in that case. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be hanging out at home, watching a bunch of new movies.
Yes. And by the way, Frank has seen Die Hard 3 times.
3 times.
3 times now.
I felt that was necessary to share with you guys.
That's fantastic.
It is necessary to share with everybody.
Absolutely.
Well, in a situation like Goodfellas, we talked about that earlier. I'd watched it the one time, and it was a great movie, but it's not a movie that I'm going to sit there and continuously watch one after another.
I've seen it a dozen times, if not more.
Shit, yeah.
And there's people who are like that with some movies. Yeah. Die Hard, for some reason, I watched it the first time and was like, that was pretty good. And I was sitting there later on, and I was like, I think I want to take a good dive into this movie.
Yeah.
And a couple days later, I was
Yeah.
watching it again, going,
Hell
okay,
yeah.
like this is completely paid for my HBO Max subscription.
And what,
That's fantastic.
and once you
actually.
start quoting it, it's you just like anytime you oh shit.
It's going to be bad too, because we're going to be on one night, and I'm going to be quoting Die Hard left and right. It's
gonna be awesome.
They're going to be going, dude, that's almost a 40-year-old movie.
I don't care. That's
gonna be awesome.
We can make an entire show off of just quoting Die Hard.
We
I'm fine
probably
with that.
could.
We might need to at some point.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, we might exactly because I mean we won't have the fucking shitty ass lines to talk about, so we might actually have to do that.
Yeah. After football season, we're gonna have to throw some weird things in here. So you guys might just get an episode where we just quote Die Hard. So
Like especially the day after the game they just had against Tampa Bay, where they just rolled in and dropped a bomb in Ford Field. Holy shit, man!
not the bomb I thought we were gonna get to first, but
we'll
roll from
yeah,
we'll
we'll
roll
get
on.
there.
I was going to say, we always start there. It's
Yeah.
only fair that we start there.
Yes, we'll start there. But
Your time is coming.
Obviously, the Bucs rolled in and they did pretty much what everybody expected the Bucs to do, and just absolutely humiliate the Detroit Lions. And for you slaps to say, well, they didn't have coaches and they had to play and the NFL should have. Shut up! Stop it. This was going to happen regardless of if they had the coaches there or if they moved the game back. It wouldn't have fucking mattered. Knock it off. They're a bad fucking football team. That's all there is to it. They're bad.
And with what you had started off saying, Chris, like, yeah, they got their asses kicked. But the part people are missing is they still had to play the second half after getting their asses kicked for the first half.
Right.
Like, you made Tom Brady look better than Tom Brady has ever looked in his career, possibly.
The Lions tend to do that with a lot of quarterbacks.
Matt Flynn.
Exactly. But you got Matt Flynn paid. The Lions got Matt Flynn paid
Multiple times.
multiple times.
Yeah, it's a situation where if you have faith in this team, shut the fuck up. Like, I want you to have faith in this team at some point. Right now is not the time.
It's not now.
Now is not the time. Go through the offseason, see what they do, see if they give you some reason to have some sort of hope.
Everybody wants to have hope in their team. Like, I get that. And
Right.
I hate coming on the airwaves and just like bashing the shit out of them. I really, I don't necessarily hate it.
I was gonna say, that's a lie.
I wish they would turn it around a little bit so that's not the only thing we talk about. You know what I mean? Like it would be kind of cool to talk about them actually having some sort of a chance at something.
It would be different. It would be nice.
Right.
Like, I am
So-
fiending for the day that I can sit here and you guys have to swallow your words that you have said now for as long as we've been together. I mean, the show's only been back on for almost a year now. But in total, we've been doing this together for about 3-4 years. I can't wait for the day when you guys got to eat your words on that team. It just ain't now.
It's not now.
Honestly, I don't ever see it happening.
And
There's no reason for you to
Ever.
think it'll happen.
I literally just I was looking at my Facebook cover photo. I was looking at I changed it to our logo for our show and everything.
Right.
And I was looking at the ones that came before it, and I was just kind of scrolling through my Facebook pictures and looking at my daughter a little bit. And you know the one thing I came across that was a cover picture of mine was the quote of the Lions fucked up hiring Matt Patricia. They've just set themselves back longer, and he won't last 3 years. And I looked at that and I went, ha, yeah, he didn't.
Wait, what? That's
didn't.
crazy talk.
He didn't.
When you look at this past week, though, like, that decision is still exactly what was haunting them. I mean, Chris, did you get to watch the game? I know, Joe, you were busy for the most part.
Yeah,
but
I didn't. I unfortunately didn't watch anything this
Oh,
weekend.
that of the Lions game?
The Lions game.
I watched maybe like 5 minutes of it.
Okay. Was Chase Daniel in when you watched, or was Stafford still healthy?
Chase Daniel was.
Okay. Does he look like he had any idea of what he was doing?
And I take it back. I watched until the third quarter.
Okay.
That's when I left on Saturday. That was on Saturday.
Yep.
I watched more football on Saturday than I did Sunday this week. I did watch into the third quarter of the Lions game. So yes,
Okay.
I did.
So
see that.
you got to see when Chase was in there as well.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not
didn't
good.
look like he was in this offense for the entire year. I'm trying to word it appropriately. He looked fucking lost.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Like, there's no other way to put that. He didn't look like a quarterback who'd been practicing in this system for as long as he's been in the system. And that's on coaching again.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree with you.
I got nothing, man.
Like, again, that goes back to the
nothing.
Patricia situation of Patricia just didn't have these guys ready to play. And it's just going to continue to haunt you and continue to haunt you. But we could probably only go for another 5 minutes on this topic because it was that bad of a game.
It was. And so that kind of leads me to the next topic of the Lions, right?
Right.
And that's, we're hearing a lot of chatter now about what's going to happen in the offseason.
Yeah.
Are they going to move on from Stafford? Who are they going to go after? And a lot of fans, and I told you guys this before the show, I'm sorry, but I really, and I have to say this, and I feel kind of bad, but I don't. I hate most fans of most teams. Just because they come up with some of the weirdest, dumbest shit, and they think it's like the greatest thing. Like why are the teams not thinking of doing this? Because it's fucking stupid. That's why. I've heard now a lot of people say the Lions should go after Haskins.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a few outlets with that.
I'm sorry.
Why?
What has he
This
shown
is the
you
first time
anything?
I've heard that suggestion.
Oh
and
my
it's
god,
fucking awful.
It is all over the place right now of fans suggesting this. It was even on some outlets, like Chris said, that were suggesting it. What has he shown you that you have any thought process that that's a good idea at all? On a good team, that's a bad idea. On a bad team, it's a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't bring anything to the table. He'll actually just take away from the team. It's stupid.
That's a dude who's going to end up in a situation, and honestly, a team like Washington would have been the perfect situation for him. But he's going to end up in a spot where he's competing between being a 3 and a 2.
Yeah.
He's not a starter.
That's on
He's
him.
Not giving you any reason
It's
to
totally
believe
on
that
him.
he's
That's
got
on
the
him.
talent.
And, people, I saw like over Twitter, like, people that were bashing him, and then those people like getting on people who were bashing him. I'm like, why? This is on him. This isn't on anybody else. This is on him.
And if you look at the statement he put out yesterday, I don't know if he was being honest about it or not, but he owned the fact that he has not done what he needs to do to be an NFL quarterback.
And I respect that.
Right.
I will say that. I respect
I just
that.
don't know that I believe that he believes it.
Right. I respect the fact that he put it on himself. But when it comes down to it, I'm with the people that say don't bash a player if they just lose it, if they can't do it anymore, if their physical gifts have given them, like if they've lost it.
If we were talking about Alex Smith right now, it'd be a whole different situation.
Exactly. Exactly.
You want to talk the exact same team, exact same situation. Like, Alex Smith has every reason to not be able to succeed right now.
100%.
I mean, the guy's one good leg just went 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And that's the point in time where I would be with those fans and say, all right, stop bashing the dude. Like, that's not cool, man. But with this guy, it basically is an attitude problem. So it's like Chris said, it's on him at this point. You can't. You have free reign to bash the guy because he messed it up himself. It's not like something happened where he got injured or he just lost it, something like that. No, this was on him, man. He didn't come in after he was drafted with the right attitude.
He didn't. There's one thing to get to the league. It's another thing to stay in the league.
Yes.
And to be a successful quarterback, you got to put in the work, man. You can't be going to fucking strip clubs and taking selfies and shit like that
Especially
during the
right
fucking
now.
game, idiot. And stuff and just immature shit like that. And not to mention, especially during the all this COVID stuff, you're gonna go out and do stupid shit like that when your coach is recovering from fucking cancer. What the fuck is wrong with you?
You're putting yourself in a position to do harm to anybody
Like,
you have to come
seriously.
in contact with. And your head coach, the one guy you have to be the left and right hand of the organization with.
And the one guy that was backing you, like, he had your back. And you totally fucked him.
On Tuesday mornings, we're sitting here watching this guy go down the hallway ringing the bell because he's about to beat cancer.
Right.
And your ass is watching tits at the fucking strip club. Do that. No problem. Not right now.
Right.
Right now, it's time to be a professional. But that's where, and it brings me to the one point that I wanted to make when Chris, specifically you and I were talking about it the other day. But Joe, I know you and I have talked about it too, and I'm sure you guys have talked between the two of you. That comes down to where he was, in my opinion. I have never seen an Ohio State quarterback, much less player, come into that league with the maturity that you need to be a professional athlete.
They're few and far between.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say none,
Yeah,
but I would say
You've got some
very
guys
few.
Like Joey Galloway.
Yeah.
Like that guy.
Yeah.
that guy was a stand-up dude.
You look at Laurinaitis, the linebacker, Spielman.
Yeah.
There's guys who definitely do it.
Right.
But as a whole, a school like them, for some reason, they don't prepare you. They prepare you to be an athlete. They don't prepare you to be a man.
Right.
I guess that's the easiest way for me to put it.
That's a great way to put it.
It's actually, a really good way to put it.
No, you're right. For the most part, overall, you're right. You're absolutely right.
That's one thing, as much as I want to sit here and bash on Michigan all the time, that's one thing they do. Michigan prepares you to be a man more than they do an athlete or anything else.
They prepare you for life, period. You know, it's you want to go Ohio State because they're going to get you to the league. That's fine, but what about
there's
after
no accountability?
Yeah, what about after the league? You know, that's what I see. Like when
after you wash out of the league because you don't make it,
you know, and it's sad, but
this has this whole situation, along with the past, has people questioning Fields at this point, which you can't.
I wouldn't take him. I wouldn't fucking take him.
It is fair. It is fair at this point. Now, is it fair for that kid individually? Is it fair for Fields individually? Because he hasn't necessarily done anything to warrant that. But is it fair because he's at the university, the Ohio State University, and he's coming behind all these other failures? It is warranted in that case. You kind of got to feel bad for the kid at some point because it's not necessarily on him. He hasn't done anything wrong at this point.
Right.
But it's a warranted criticism and a warranted, oh shit, maybe we don't want him.
Well, last night before the game, they were Monday Night Countdown, and Booger McFarland of all people, he actually said something that I agreed 100% with, and I don't know if either of you two saw this. It was
I don't agree with
I didn't
the
watch
exact,
Monday Night last night.
I didn't either, actually. I didn't watch much of it. I don't agree with his exact words, but I agree with it in general.
Right, like what he said about just the young players in the league, and he did. He said 75% of the league it's black because it's a fact. It's true. It's fact.
It is.
But he was mainly talking about the younger guys in the league, and saying that they're not prepared to come into this league. They're more about Instagram follows and TikTok videos and doing all this shit to get their likes up and get their brand out there.
They're doing everything for their personal
right.
brand, nothing for a team.
They're not. And dude, if you put in the work and then become that stud player, that's gonna take care of itself, man. Yeah. It's gonna take care of itself.
See, where I agree with him is in that point.
Yeah, that was what I agreed with.
I didn't agree with him. I didn't agree with him in the point where he basically just called out the younger black athletes.
But he didn't do that because he prefaced it even before that. He said but he just said that the league is 75% black, which it is. But even before that, he goes, it's not just black players; it's these young players. Yeah, that's what he said.
And that's the point I agree with.
Yeah, I think it's again conversation the three of us have had numerous times. It's a generational issue.
Yeah,
like these kids today aren't.
They've never been told no.
Right, and they're not capable of adapting to hearing it right now.
Yeah. Well, and it's right now it's a generational thing with the way they're doing it, but I think it's kind of always been a thing with athletes. Athletes aren't always told no, especially if you're a great athlete growing up. You're doted on. You're not told no a whole lot, and you're kind of handed a lot of things along the way because you're such a great athlete. And then when you get to the higher up league where you actually are going to be told no, you're going to face adversity. You're going to need to be more about the team than yourself at that point.
You're going to be told no, you can't go to the strip club right now.
Exactly. And they don't know how to take that. They don't know how to adapt to that.
Right.
And there's been a lot of athletes along the years that haven't been able to do it.
I mean, you see it especially with coaching now. Coaching is completely different than when we were growing up playing baseball and hockey, and you're playing sports and things like that. You can't get into a kid anymore.
No, you can't.
No,
you absolutely can't because a parent's going to lose their shit or what, and you just can't do it anymore. So you got to coddle the kids, and to me, that you're seeing the results of that now.
And I'll speak to a little bit more than just sports on that one. That has led to a lot of poor grown-ups.
Yeah.
It's true, though. The coddling thing and the not being allowed to reprimand kids when they're playing sports or even as teachers or whatever. Other parents aren't allowed to reprimand kids anymore. I remember I used to get yelled at all the time by my friends' parents.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, like that's just the way it was, 100%. Man. If you were at your friend's house and you were doing something wrong, you fucking got yelled at.
Yep.
Now parents lose their shit on the other parent for yelling at their kids. No, I'll be honest with you. If my daughter's doing something wrong at your house, you have free reign to yell at my daughter. Tell her she's not acting right. Now you won't have that problem because I'm an actual good parent. My daughter doesn't do stupid shit, but
And that's again, that's where the whole thing starts, though.
Right. Yeah.
Be a good parent, you're going to end up having a good kid.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a good kid, he's going to grow up to be a good parent. Who's going
Ideally.
to have a good kid.
Ideally.
That's kind of how the chain works.
Yeah.
And it starts, unfortunately, with telling people no.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And figuring out how to accept that.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And it's funny, we've gone from talking about sports to almost life in general, but it's we'll get it back to the sports, but that's an overall issue. That's an overall thing right there is
But that is the exact problem I see with Haskins.
Yeah.
That's the exact problem I've seen with Johnny Manziel. That's
Yeah.
the problem
Yeah.
you've seen with guys like
100%.
that. And I'm not comparing the two of them because Haskins at least has had somewhat of a decent season. He looks like he's a mildly talented quarterback. Definitely looks like he belongs in the league. Not as a starter, but belongs at least. But how is he going to react when he's not a starter next year?
I'm curious to find out,
Well,
honestly. I mean, I hope he gets his shit together. I really do. But
I mean, is he going to do what Jameis has done this year, where he's kind of shut up and taken the back seat? Or is he going to become the problem like everybody assumes?
his reaction when he first got drafted was, to me, said everything I needed to hear about him.
well, the league done messed up.
Yeah. First of all, you were projected as a third-round quarterback because of your attitude problems and because you weren't a leader. And then you got drafted in the first round, which nobody expected, by a team that took a chance on you. And your only reaction is the league done messed up. That's not. You should have just been excited as shit that you were a first-round pick and get out there and play, because that team that you got drafted to was looking for a quarterback. And if you'd have walked into that room, if you'd have walked into that locker room and took charge and actually learned the playbook, actually learned what you were doing, you'd have been able to make it in the league. But you didn't.
Yeah, if a team wanted to draft or wanted to pick up a guy who had a media circus, almost 7 years ago at this point, they would have picked up Tebow.
All right.
They didn't wait for you to come out of college to make you the guy that they went through the media circus with.
I hope he gets his shit together, but frankly, just by some of the things he's done this year, obviously, you can grow up or whatever, however you want to look at it.
Yeah,
but
everybody can change.
I gotta say, I don't necessarily see it happening.
I have very little faith.
It's sad.
I hope it does, but I agree with you. I don't see it happening anytime soon, and that's not a good thing.
I want to make one more point on that topic, though. And Chris, you had mentioned the Booger point, and Booger saying like these guys are doing things for their brand. Did Ocho Cinco ever have that issue? Did T.O. ever have it? These are guys who are more known for their names and their brands than anything.
They started doing that shit when they earned it.
On Sundays,
Yes.
when it came down to it and they were playing between the paint, they fucking balled out.
Yeah, and they did. And so you want to, T.O. in his driveway doing sit-ups and Ocho Cinco with the shit that he was doing, but he did it on the field, man.
But he's playing in Super Bowls. He's playing in Pro Bowls.
Right.
He's an all-world athlete at that point.
That's to my point. Is like if you do it on the field, the other shit's going to take care of itself.
Right.
Your brand is going to build itself.
It comes down to putting in the work, and you earn the right to be able to do stupid shit like that. You earn the right to be able to do sit-ups in your driveway when you're working
And as much
out,
as we hate
and
it,
with the
it's
media
like,
circus
okay,
around you.
all
what I mean?
right, cool, man. You go to work on Sundays, and you ball out.
Yep.
Cool, man. Yeah, you want to do stupid shit during the week? Okay, but as long as you show up to work on Sunday and do your thing, cool, man.
You want to stand in the middle of the field and start flapping your arms and shit, like you've earned that right.
If you want to score touchdowns against Dallas and run to the star,
which was awesome, by the way,
and stand with your arms out and start a fight in the middle of the field,
right?
You know what? You've earned that right.
Right.
I don't necessarily think it's the smartest thing to do, but you've earned your right to do that.
Right.
These kids now,
and it was great.
They just unfortunately don't understand how to earn that stuff either.
No, because they don't feel they have to.
Right.
So
that was just the last point I wanted to throw in on that one.
Now, somebody who should earn some negative talk. One, either Kevin Stefanski or Baker Mayfield. Which one do you want to start with?
Well, where do you want me to go with this? You want me to assess what I saw, or do you want me to just react originally to the loss? Because I'll react to the loss. You fucking lost to Adam fucking Gase. You lost to Adam fucking Gase. Like, fuck the Jets, okay? The Jets have professional football players. So when you look at it as a football team, they're still professional football players. And they're still out there. They still earn the right to be out there. So I'm not going to dog them as much as I'm going to dog Adam Gase. It's Adam fucking Gase. And you lost to him. When you're fighting for a playoff spot, you had the playoff spot in your hands. You had the playoff spot in your hands. You had the division in your hands. Now, granted, Pittsburgh ended up winning
because
Phillip Rivers fucking blew his load in the first half and didn't do anything after that. But you had the playoffs in your hands against the New York Jets and Adam fucking Gase. And what did you do? You shit the fucking bed. And you wonder why you have the moniker, you're the Browns. Don't fucking wonder that anymore.
Yep.
Because you fucked it up. People were starting to respect you. But guess what? They don't anymore, again, because you fucked it up. Now, that was my original reaction to the fucking loss.
Yes.
After actually going
and
back...
all of it's very warranted. Like, all of that, I'm not even a Browns fan, and I felt the same way.
It's ridiculous.
Like, how you lose to that team with that coaching staff, can't comprehend.
Now I'll go back through and actually analyze it because I didn't watch the game. And
Right.
I think I would even be more furious if I watched the game. And
You would be. You absolutely would be.
I think, Frank, you hit it the one day when you said you weren't watching the one
The Raiders game.
And you said, I just don't have the same reaction to it.
Trust me, I thought we were going to be sitting here talking about that shit show all day.
So, but like, I think if you don't watch the game and you just watch it back, or you look at the highlights, or you look at the stats, it's not the same.
It's
so
not.
I think I would have more vitriol if I'd have watched that game.
Oh yeah, you would have been furious.
In going back and watching some of it, like I told you guys, I would go back and I would watch some of it because I can't talk about it if I'm uneducated on the situation. And I almost refuse to talk about it with you guys in text because I really didn't know what had happened other than they lost.
And you kept saying exactly what you just said. Like, I haven't watched it yet. Let me watch it, and I'll talk to you about it.
We kind of filled it in for you.
So you did. You guys let me know some certain things, and
I tried to be as honest as I could.
Yeah, which you should. Going back and watching that game, and watching the part of that game that I did watch, the bits that I did watch, and knowing what had happened. So the Browns were against it a little bit. Forget
100%.
You had no receivers.
Forget the fact that it's the Jets and it's Adam fucking Gase. It's still a professional football team, even though Adam fucking Gase is the worst fucking coach on the planet. You lost your entire receiving core the night before the game, so it's not like you even had time to come up with a different game plan or practice with your practice squad players.
I was going to say, you had to call the practice squad and be like, hey, show up tomorrow.
Hey,
we need you.
Hey, guys, can you be here tomorrow? I know your other job has you scheduled tomorrow, but can you be here?
Can you call off?
Yeah, can you not go bag groceries at Kroger tomorrow? Can you come play for us?
Right.
So they were against it. I'm going to blame Mayfield for about 20% of it.
Okay,
because,
that's fair.
Because he needs to hold on to the fucking football. He fumbled 3 times.
Yep.
2 were recovered by the defense. The other one was recovered by Hunt, and it couldn't be advanced, and it was the last fumble that cost him the entire game. So hold on to the football. You need to be better than that. With that being said, Stefanski, you're an idiot.
Yep.
You're a fucking idiot. You go into that game with a top 3 rushing offense, with 2 of the best running backs in the league. You just lost your entire wide receiver core the night before the game. I understand your game plan was probably to attack the Jets via the pass, because their defense against the pass is a lot worse than it is against the run. I understand that, and that'll work out just fine if you have your receiving core. If you have the 2 baggers that were on your practice squad the night before, I'm going to go with you should probably adjust your fucking game plan.
Even
and you
if
should
you
run
were
the
gonna
fucking
use
football.
The running backs, though, like they weren't even prioritizing trying to pass to the running back.
There was 6 passes. So they threw 53 passes in the game, as opposed to 15 handoffs.
Yep.
Now there was 3 other rushes by Baker Mayfield. He probably fumbled on all 3 of them. But when it comes down to it, you threw the ball 53 times with wide receivers from your practice squad, and you rushed the ball 15 times with your 2 starting running backs, who are 2 of the best running backs in the league, and your 3rd in rushing offense in the league. I don't understand what the fuck you were doing. You set your team up to fail. You failed as a coach. You are the one that's responsible for 80% of this loss. That game plan made no sense to me. I don't understand it at all.
I did, like I said, I found out how many times he threw the ball like later on, like during the 4:00 games. You know, they're at halftime of the 4:00 games.
I was going to say, when you took the screenshot and sent it, that's when I figured out it was 53
And I'm like,
times.
wait a minute. They threw the ball 53 times without any fucking receivers? Okay.
That
makes no sense.
One of the receivers played for Detroit 2 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It was Marvin Hall. The other guy, Bradley, and Willies, those two guys, again, like I said, they were probably bagging groceries at Kroger's like Kurt Warner used to do back in the day. And then they got called to come play football on Sunday. And yet...
And let's be honest, you got Austin Hooper as your tight end. No offense to the guy. It's not like he's a slouch or something, but he's not what he was 3 years ago.
So out of those 53 passes, there was 28 completions. Do you want to know how many of those went to anybody? Oh, you want to know how many of those 28 completions went to a wide receiver?
8.
I was going to say, it can't be many of them because watching it, they looked completely out of out of rhythm.
There was 6 completions to a wide receiver, 5 of which were to the one guy, Bradley. So 2 receivers were involved in your game, and you chose to throw the ball 53 times. That's insane to me. I'm a fan of Stefanski. I like the guy until Sunday. That was dumb. If you don't win this next game and make the playoffs, you have failed this team this year. You have failed them.
Absolutely.
You have completely failed them. You had a chance to lock up the playoffs in that game, and you failed. And I don't want to hear the excuse that you lost your receivers, okay? Yes, that fucking blows. But you threw the ball 53 times. If you rush the ball more, who knows what fucking happens in that game?
If you rush the ball, you're going to control the clock. You win the game. It would have been an ugly-ass game, but you would have won. You would have won.
And that's all that mattered. You don't need to win a pretty game, especially when the night before you lose your entire wide receiving core.
And that's why I can't dog the team and Baker as much as I would have originally liked to. Because... they were against it. The team was against it. Not only did they lose their whole wide receiver core, they lost two of their linebackers.
Yep.
And they were without 2 offensive linemen. They were against it, but you still need to beat that team, and you need to have a game plan to beat that team. That you just didn't have a game plan to beat that team, and you didn't adjust your game plan from the night before when you had your starting wide receivers. You just didn't adjust your game plan. And if you get down by a few points, if you get down by a touchdown or 2, You don't just abandon the run, especially when you lost your whole wide receiver crew. All right.
Easy there, buddy.
All right.
Yeah.
You
feel better?
No. Because they screwed the pooch on that one. They fucking screwed up on that one. Now they have to go out and beat Pittsburgh. Now it might be better. Because Mason Rudolph is going to be starting for them instead of Ben, apparently.
Yeah.
But
now I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now you have to go out.
Change my pick then.
Now you have to go out and beat Pittsburgh in order to make it into the playoffs. You have to win that game. If you beat the Jets with Adam fucking Gase. Adam fucking Gase.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to worry about this week.
Nope.
You're in.
And it's funny.
You're in.
We've sat here for weeks talking about Cleveland. It's no longer Detroit. It's not in that same conversation. And as soon as you escape from that, you do something stupid like this week. And I'm not saying it puts you right back into it.
It doesn't.
But if you fuck up this week and you blow it on making the playoffs, it puts you right back into that same category.
I don't think it puts them right back there, but I wouldn't blame people for saying that.
It trends in that direction for sure.
Yeah. I wouldn't blame people for saying that.
It sends you right back down.
It's one of those things where you were overcoming your past, and then your past is now your present because you fucked up.
And I texted Chris on the side, especially once you said that you weren't watching the game. My Baker comparison is not going to be a flattering one. Baker is now Derek Carr in my eyes.
Oh, you said that the other day, and I agree with you.
We talked about that later on, but I had said it in the moment with Chris. It is just a complete model of inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the talent in the world sometimes, and you are absolute dog shit at other times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what my complaint's been about Baker the entire time.
And you have that killer turnover.
Yeah, that's...
When the game's online, you choked it away.
Yeah. I mean, you can say the same thing about Stafford, too.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go that route. Baker.
Nobody's going to argue that.
Well, I think Stafford's got a little bit more talent than Baker, but those two comparisons are kind of are kind of exactly right because
They're both gunslingers, but they'll
bonehead plays.
Both seem to be missing that killer instinct.
Yeah, but they'll have that killer turnover that you're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's the Derek Carr, the Stafford, and like I said, I'm not comparing him to Stafford. I think Stafford's got more talent than he does at this point. But and I don't want to completely bash Baker because I haven't. I know you guys do. He's been up against it since he entered the league. He entered the league into Cleveland. And he's had 3 different...
a mildly controversial number one overall pick.
Exactly. A number 1 pick who maybe shouldn't have been number 1 overall, but they took him number 1 overall. He's had 4 different head coaches, 3 different offensive coordinators in the first 3 years. So he's been up against it since he entered the fucking league. I think the dude has plenty of talent. And he just can't be consistent enough to not make the bonehead error like guys like Derek Carr, like guys like Matt Stafford. You got to overcome that.
Well, coming into the league, he didn't exactly help himself with the attitude that he came into the league.
Yeah, I mean, his attitude is what it is. I mean, at a certain point,
he's definitely toned it down.
He has
100%.
At a certain point, you are who you are. You know what I mean? Like I at this point in my life, I own who I am. I'm kind of an asshole sometimes. It is what it is. Not everybody's gonna fucking like me. I'm not going to change who I am at this point in my life. And I think he's at the point in his life where he can tone down certain things, but sometimes you just are who you are, and you're going to rub people the wrong way. It is what it is.
Right.
But if he can put it together on the football field, that's the only thing that'll fucking matter. That's it. You got to put it together on the football field.
And he's just got to find out how to do that now.
Yeah.
Because he can do it, well, I'd say 7 out of the 17 weeks of the season, maybe even more than that, but he can't do it 17 out of 17.
Right. You've got to be able to do it 12 out of the 17 weeks, 13 out of the 17 weeks. Like you're not gonna be perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I look at a guy like Josh Allen. Josh Allen came into the league. He was inconsistent. His deep ball was inaccurate.
His passes in general were inaccurate.
Even this year, he showed some complete inaccuracy.
But there's a difference in being inconsistent in a game and inconsistent the entire season.
Right. Well, he had Chris. You were down on him for several games in a row.
I was absolutely.
Where but he has had, and the reason I make this comparison is because they came in the league in the same year. Is you have a guy in Josh Allen who I'm a huge fan of. You know that I picked him to be in the MVP race.
Yep,
he is. By the way,
he absolutely is.
Yeah. And you take those couple of weeks out, I think he's actually going to would have won it.
I think he'd be closer to winning it without those couple weeks, with those few weeks.
Aaron's going to win it.
He is.
I don't see any way around that.
With that being said, that's what you get when you have a guy who's had consistent coaching since he entered the league, as opposed to having 4 different head coaches, 3 different offensive coordinators. Josh Allen's been able to work on his inconsistencies, has been able to work on his downfalls.
Yeah.
With consistent coaching.
He did that, but he did that shit on his own too.
Listen, you can do some of that on your own, but having that consistent hierarchy there, having that consistent,
I was going to say
that consistency as the club, having that there makes a huge difference. Huge.
It's a weird comparison, and I may be totally talking out of my ass on this, but it's almost like the back to the child thing. A child who grows up with parents, a child who grows up in the foster system, bouncing around from house to house. It just kind of works out that way in my eyes when it comes to quarterbacks with coaches.
I kind of understand your analogy, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where if what you have above you and helping you is inconsistent, you're going to be inconsistent.
Right.
And I think, we're talking about Baker and
4 different people
Josh
telling
Allen.
you 4 different things to do every fucking year.
Right. And that's one of those things where, forget we're talking about Baker or Josh Allen, just in general. And I think that might be one of Matt Stafford's downfalls, is he's had a bunch of different fucking coaches, a bunch of different fucking offensive coordinators, and you've got inconsistencies behind you. How can you be consistent when your club is nothing but inconsistent? You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things.
We got some comments in the comment section that are popping up.
Yes.
All right.
Raphael wants a shout out. So
hey, Raphael,
what's going on, Raphael?
What's up, Raph?
We appreciate you guys watching.
Hey, thanks
watching.
Thanks for listening, brother. I appreciate it.
Eddie is going completely off topic.
Oh,
he wants to know why we're wearing the masks on the sidelines. Does anybody know?
Wait, what?
He wants to know why they wear face masks on the sidelines.
Oh, like the coaches?
Oh,
and shit?
like the
NFL protocol.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. It's about perception.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah. That's
they want
literally
You want people to see that you're doing it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
hopefully they emulate it outside of
the NFL requires everybody in their meetings and in the building to wear face masks around each other,
Yep.
so that if somebody does get COVID, you don't have to sit your whole wide receiver crew like the Browns did. So that's why they want the players to always wear, and the coaches to always wear, even on the sidelines and in the meetings and in the facility, to wear masks, because they want to see that they don't have to take the whole wide receiver crew out.
And then my brother jumped on, and he's hitting on a topic that we've talked about numerous times. It's the inconsistencies with the COVID scheduling.
Yeah.
It's this team has their quarterback out, so we're going to push them to Wednesday next week.
Right.
But then the Raiders lose their whole O-line, so we're going to move them to Saturday.
Is he talking about how the Lions got screwed this past weekend?
He's not saying that that's why they lost, but it's just making it a little bit more obvious to a lot more people.
Yeah,
when
I
their
understand
team
where he's coming
gets
from,
hit
but
with it.
even if this game got pushed back, it would have the outcome of that game would not have mattered.
The only points you scored were on special teams.
Right.
The week after you fired your special teams coach.
Exactly.
Well, about the NFL being inconsistent,
There's
though,
no way you win that game.
We've talked about the NFL being inconsistent with the COVID stuff. I mean,
absolutely.
we've discussed that. The Raiders had to play a game without their offensive line.
Yeah. They literally moved the game up.
Right.
After finding out they had no O-line.
Right.
And then moved Lamar Jackson's game a week later.
Right. So it's like there's been certain teams that have gotten that, but overall, the majority of teams haven't. There's been a couple that have, but the majority of teams, Denver had to play with a practice squad wide receiver as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Buffalo had to play without all of their tight ends one game.
Yep.
Again, Cleveland just had to play without all of their wide receivers.
Right.
Raiders had to play without their offensive line.
Oh, but it's the vendetta against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, it's what it is it's inconsistencies in the NFL. Same as with NFL refs.
Oh, speaking of that,
it's in general
got some of that.
the NFL refs just blow.
Yeah,
they don't have a vendetta against the Lions or the Browns or whatever team you root
They're just
for.
not good at
They're
their
just
job.
Exactly. They just suck at their job. They're not very good at it.
I'm starting to think they got a bit of a hard on for the Packers, though. That you saw that play, the Packers game against the Titans.
The foot out of bounds.
The foot out of bounds when literally a referee is like 2 yards away from it, literally looking right at said play, looking at his foot out of bounds.
Dude,
I have one question though.
I saw that on the TV, and look, I stopped paying attention until you sent it to me 4 hours later. I didn't even know that they ruled that in bounds. It was that obvious.
It wasn't even challenged.
So I have one question.
They said he threw the flag too late.
Why wasn't that challenged?
No, he was trying to throw the flag,
Oh.
and they wouldn't let him throw the flag. They got because you know how Rodgers gets up to the line and he just goes. The flag wasn't thrown in time.
See,
But again, that's a great way to play the game when you know that
Right.
refs aren't good at their jobs.
Yeah.
The quicker you get that ball off, the more likely you are to have bad calls.
I have a problem. I have a problem with Vrabel not throwing that flag sooner.
I think he was trying to. 'Cause he was on the other sideline.
Throw the fucking thing out
How do
there.
you not immediately?
Well, but the thing is it wasn't even like a thing that he may have stepped out of bounds. Nobody knew that he stepped out of bounds.
They didn't make a thing about it at all.
No, because
Okay.
and it's on the other sideline, so it's
Right.
like okay. And then by the time he was alerted to it that he did step out of bounds, it was too late to throw the flag.
Ball had been snapped.
Right. Because
Okay.
obviously Rodgers does what he does, gets up to the line, and they go. But for an NFL referee to be that close to that play, staring right at it, and you just let it go, and you don't call it what it clearly is, that he literally stepped out of bounds, that's inexcusable. That dude should have been fired immediately after that game. Fired.
Well, I think refs do need to be held accountable. There needs to be, and not behind the scenes.
No,
players are penalized and punished.
Oh,
in front of the world.
They're punished for wearing their jersey incorrectly.
So when it comes down to
what
it,
are we doing here?
the NFL refs
Wear shoes with an RIP to the wrong person.
Yeah.
You get fined for it.
The NFL fines them for fucking everything, and they release it all as to what they're being fined for, why they're being fined, what they're being punished for, and that needs to happen with the refs. They need to have a clear punishment plan and a clear discipline plan in place for refs, because they're not doing their jobs right, and it's becoming consistently inconsistent.
Right.
It's one of those things where we've talked about it before. The fact that the NFL doesn't have full-time refs is insane to me, They don't pay them full-time salaries and full-time jobs.
Right. Most of those guys carry other jobs.
Yeah, these guys are teachers and lawyers and other things during the day, and they're NFL refs at night or on the weekend.
Right.
It's
not like the NHL or MLB.
Right. You are $1 billion. You are $1 billion company. You need to pay these refs a full-time salary, and that's all they do. And if they don't want to do that, get guys who will.
Right.
They need to be full-time. They need to know how to do their job the best of their ability because they're failing.
Like something a call like that's that egregiously bad. I'm sorry, you should be fired for that.
Yeah.
No discipline. No, you can't ref the next. No, you should be fired for that. That's just horrible.
It is horrible, but I disagree to a certain point. There has to be a process put in place for punishment. You can't just outright.
They're unionized, so it would be a process.
I'm just talking when it's something that egregious.
That was insane. But again, it has to be something like you screwed that call up. You're on.
Right.
You have two more. Whatever it is. Whatever the process is. Like you said, it's a union, Frank. Like there has to be some sort of process.
There's going to be a process.
It can't just be you screwed up. They're human. It can't just be you fucked up once and you're fired. But it has to be. There has to be a process to where you can't have these guys screwing up all the time and having no accountability at all. It needs to go from like. We can't go from no accountability to you're fucking gone. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm just talking about for stuff that's egregious like that. If
I understand your thought.
If it's a fuck up that it's like okay, I'm gonna kill a dude for it. Fine, you want to suspend him for the next game. That's fine, whatever. But something shit like that, that's your job, man. That's your fucking job. To get calls like that
very
right.
Lucky that call or calls like that for the most part don't end up deciding games.
Right, and that game was a complete blowout, so it really didn't fucking matter in the grand scheme of things.
If it's a one-score game,
right.
and that was the one score, right now, the NFL would be held over hot coals.
Oh yeah, like obviously like the pass interference in the Saints Rams game.
We're talking about it 2, 3, 4 years later, whatever it is.
That might be the most egregious call I've ever seen. But it's that game, the Browns game against the Jets, that roughing the passer call that I sent you, literally the worst. I think the worst roughing the passer I've ever seen in my life.
There's been some bad ones.
I was gonna say I've seen worse.
I said one of. I didn't say it was the worst. It's one of the worst I've ever seen.
It's one of. When I watched that one, literally the only thing I can think that ref saw was the head, the head nod at the end towards Baker. Other than that, I looked at that and I went, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
I don't know how you call that. From the other angle, you could kind of see from the one angle where he popped his head towards him. On the other angle, you could see it a little more, but that's the only thing I can think of, and that doesn't warrant a flag.
No,
that's stupid.
But he even put his arms out,
right? Well, he put his arms out and then kind of went with his head. So I mean, yeah, he was trying to give Baker a little bit of a nudge,
right?
But that's not a penalty. No. That's insane.
And that's the problem anymore with sports. And it's happening in baseball. It's happening in hockey. It's happening in football. It's happening pretty much across the board. You have opinion-based judgments that are being made.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Chris,
absolutely.
I sent you that check from the World Juniors.
Yeah.
I didn't respond to it, but you had said dirty hit.
Yep.
I think it's the total opposite.
That's fair.
And that's where opinions come into it.
I only thought it was a dirty hit because he didn't have the puck.
Okay.
Other than that, I thought it was clean.
Yeah, and outside of that, I would agree with that.
The guy had time to stop and not hit him because he didn't have the puck.
Which I would agree with.
But if he had the puck, clean hit 100%.
But when you have opinions going into this stuff, when that stuff is coming into play, like, do I think this happened? Do I think that? Do I think his intention was this? That's where the problem's coming in. Because we, as the three of us who do this show, need to be on the same page kind of for what we're about to do.
Right.
Refs in general, teams in general, need to be on the same page for what they're going to do.
Yeah.
It's got to be in black and white at this point.
Well, yeah, I agree.
One of my buddies, especially about the targeting penalty in especially in college football, and how they get suspended for the next game.
Immediate ejection.
The ejection and then suspended for the next game. I'm like, that's ridiculous that they get suspended for the next game. I was like, because it's such a subjective call. Yeah. It can't just be a black and white thing because it's so subjective. And he's like, no, you get targeting. Don't target. I'm like, It doesn't work like that, man.
Yeah, but if
Yeah,
I'm
it's football.
It doesn't work like that. You can't say, don't target.
if I'm reffing the SEC championship, knowing full well that I'm a Notre Dame fan and Bama's going to be in it, yeah, you know what? I might be making calls. I might be swayed to make some calls
Right.
that are going to be questionable to other people.
It's just
like that's what you have to be able to take out of things.
right. So you can. I mean, it's just the whole suspension thing for a target. Stop it. What are we doing here? It doesn't make any sense. You want to boot him from the game? Okay.
And if it's obvious,
Yeah. I mean,
that's fine. There's some that blatantly obvious.
but if it's like physics that it like, especially like a runner's going low, and you guys end up hitting helmet to helmet, then you hit. It's
Well, I thought there was a helmet to helmet last night in part of the game that I saw, a little bit I saw on Cam Newton on the sideline. Jordan Poyer.
yeah, and Poyer got the worst of that.
Poyer got the worst of it, and he actually got taken out of the game.
Yeah.
But on that call, I don't know how. And the refs were standing right there too. I don't understand how you don't make that call. Is because as I watch it in live action, me watching it personally, I go, "Oh, that was helmet to helmet contact on the quarterback."
Yeah.
As he was going out of bounds, but yet no call.
Nothing.
And Poyer stumbled onto the field again, and then they drug him off the field to go get looked at.
They absolutely had
It was
to.
one of those things where it was like, wow, how do you miss that, man? That was clearly helmet to helmet.
And it just goes to shitty refereeing again.
It's bad.
It's incredibly bad.
And this goes back to what we were saying again, though, is it's bad overall. Fans need to lay off the league, whatever league it is, whatever team you're rooting for. They don't have a vendetta against your team, okay?
No.
Whether you're rooting for the Cleveland Browns or the Lions or the Red Wings, the league doesn't hate your team,
If
man.
the league has a vendetta against you in the NFL, you're not playing on Monday nights. You're not playing on Sunday nights. That's the way they can get back at you. They can't get back at you by sabotaging your fucking game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no.
ridiculous.
I also don't think they care enough to do it.
No. And while we're on this topic of fans and stupid shit, can we please agree that as a fan you should not say "we" when talking about your team? Can we just please fucking agree to that? If you say "we" when talking about your team, like oh, we played well today, but we just couldn't pull out the victory, you're a fucking idiot, first of all, and you're a loser. It's not "we." You had nothing to do with that fucking game. You had zero to do with that. You don't say "we" when talking about a professional sports team.
I will say, in the context of the conversation you're talking about, if somebody wants to strap themselves to the Detroit Pistons and call themselves "we" with them, have at it. If you are that low in life that you want to strap yourself to a shit-ass basketball organization who can't do anything right again.
Not to mention, if you're in the media, you definitely shouldn't say "we" when talking about a professional sports
that
team.
changes things.
You cover them.
Yeah.
You're not "we." Even fans saying "we" is fucking stupid. But if you're in the media, you definitely shouldn't say "we."
No, you really shouldn't, because you don't sound credible. You don't sound credible at all.
You don't, and you're interjecting yourself into what you cover.
Yep.
Like you're not "we" with the teams.
You basically just become a fanboy.
It's not
Like, that's how I look at you.
Yeah.
When you say shit like that, when you say "we," you're a fanboy. That's all you are.
It's first of all not professional.
No, it's not professional at all, and you sound like an idiot. And you are a fanboy. It's simple as that.
Simply isn't cool.
No,
It's unprofessional for the media to do that.
Hey, did you score any goals tonight?
And it's
No?
even dumber.
Did you make any baskets?
Than
No?
when fans do it.
You know, did you score any touchdowns today?
Yeah.
No. Okay. So what did you have to do with the game?
Right.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, even Joe's high up there in the Cleveland Browns organization. He can't even say "we."
No, he can't. He should boot people out that do though.
Jesus Christ. What did you want to get to next? Is it important? Because I actually have a little something here that I came across recently that I have to talk to Frank about, because him and I need to choose some different NFL teams.
No,
How many more different ones can I choose?
yeah, Frank's gonna have the whole league covered here shortly.
Well, because
I gotta give up all four of them now.
I have a list here. I just have to do this really quick. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a list here. It says the how many winning seasons have they had in the NFL since the Raiders lost in the Super Bowl in 2002?
Who, the Raiders?
So the Raiders lost in 2002 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And the fewest winning seasons since 2002.
Yeah.
Number 1 is the Raiders.
Oh, wow.
Number 2 is the Browns. Number 3 is the Lions.
Right.
My ex team and my current team, and then
you were gonna put your ex on that list.
one of Frank's. Several of them can go on the list. And then next comes the Niners, another one of my ex teams from years ago.
Okay.
And then Jacksonville, one of Frank's teams. So between him and I,
Jacksonville's expected.
We have all 5 teams on this fucking list of fewest winning seasons since 2002, and I just thought that was a really weird thing that I had to share.
High five to bandwagon fans.
That's impressive.
I just had to share that.
That's impressive.
I have,
and I thought
and people call me a bandwagon fan.
And I thought I cheered for like really shitty teams,
right? Hey, listen, you jumped on Buffalo at the right time, bro.
I did.
You really did.
I did, apparently.
That would put me on a list of like submarine fans. I only like teams when they're terrible.
I will tell you what is not terrible, though.
What is not terrible?
My guy Jason Stiltner at Flagstar Bank.
Very nice.
Right now it's a great time to purchase a home or even refinance your existing home. So, like I said, give my guy Jason Stiltner a call at Flagstar Bank. He'll give you the top-notch service that you're looking for. Flagstar, they're currently offering a 0% down home purchase program. However, this program won't last long, but the rates are incredibly low. So, again, give my guy Jason Stiltner a call today at 248-675-0675. Trust me, you don't want to miss this great opportunity. The number again is 248-675-0675. Flagstar Bank is an equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546. That was really fucking loud. Jesus.
So going back to the comment section real quick on the whole we conversation, my brother just chimed in.
Yeah.
And he mentioned college.
That's the same thing.
You feel the same way about college?
100%.
Even if you attend the university?
Even if you attended the university.
So I personally feel a little differently on that one. If you attended the university,
did you play for? If you played for the basketball team or you played for the football team, fine,
right,
fine. But if you didn't play for any of the teams there, no.
See, and I respect that opinion. I'm willing to forgive that one if you went to the university. But like me being a Michigan fan, I can't say we.
No,
I can't say we. That's stupid. If you went to the university, you can say we referring to the university. So if you're referring to the university itself and the university's football team, okay, I personally will forgive that. That's fine.
I was going to say, he clearly states that he hates it, but for myself, I was looking at it going, I mean, you did kind of pay to attend that university.
That's forgivable to me. I'm not as strong on that one as maybe Chris is. To me, that's forgivable. I understand your
I say my university played like shit today.
That's fine too. But when you're just a fan, when you're just a person who roots for them,
right?
And absolutely fucking not. No.
Like obviously I didn't go to Michigan, I didn't go to Miami, but I'm not gonna say we. Like I'm watching the Miami game as I'm talking right now, but I'm not gonna say we are losing. I'll say Miami is losing.
Right.
21-19. You know.
Oh, they overturned that 2-point?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Whoa.
Ah, that looked like it hurt. Oh, shit.
Yeah, fucking ragdoll.
Yeah, he did. But the we thing is just even in college, stop it.
Yeah.
Again, you sound
uneducated. You sound stupid. You sound like you said. You sound like a fanboy.
You sound exactly.
Like
you sound like a little kid.
Yeah.
You sound desperate to be included.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
100%. Yes.
Yes. You sound desperate for some sort of a group to just glom onto. Like, oh, we're all together in this. No, you're not. No, you're not.
When I hear somebody say we, I imagine them. And the first thing right now that comes to mind is that J.J. Watt press conference that we had talked about.
Mm-hmm. That was great, by the way.
That was great.
Fans, honestly, if you're a fan of any sport and you've ever been frustrated, go watch what JJ had to say. It's on our Facebook page.
The dude gets it.
Yeah. Like it's the most simple explanation in the world, and it's just so refreshing to hear an athlete say it. But I imagine the fan who says we sitting in that position. You now put yourself in a position where you're in a press conference. Well, we did this and we did that. Okay, well, then explain to me why things happened the way they did. I'm just a fan. I don't know. Okay, well, if you can't give me an answer, then you're not we.
Right. We.
You're not we.
No, stop
So
it.
just stop.
And you probably don't want to be we.
No. No, that needs to stop. That's one of my pet peeves.
Yeah. And I obviously I want you to root for your teams and shit like that, but I guess we shouldn't be making up rules about this shit because everybody has their own fandom. But I'm just simply saying, if you want to do that, great, by all means do it. But you sound like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not a rule. I just think you're an idiot when you do it.
Yeah.
Like you can do what you want to do. I listen. Nobody gives a shit what Joe Waddell from Sports on Tap Detroit thinks, right? I mean, nobody fucking cares.
Hey, that's not true. Somebody from another show cares what you think. I'll just leave it at that.
I will say Eddie just came in from the rafters and threw in the comment, LeBron doesn't even say we.
There you go.
That's a good one.
It's true, though.
That's a great one.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you can do what the fuck you want to do because nobody really cares what my opinion is or Chris's opinion or Frank's opinion. We don't control your life. We collectively as Sports on Tap Detroit don't control your life. But if you say we when referring to a sports team, you sound like a fucking idiot.
If you would like us to control your life, we can have a conversation, though.
I wouldn't advise that.
It's not going to go well, but we can talk about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise any one of the three of us controlling your life. We can barely control our own.
I was going to say, I don't know why we're allowed to control our own.
Like Citizen 14978642.
Oh, well done. Where do we want to go now?
Oh, you got to read.
You want me to read?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
you should probably read.
I didn't know if we wanted to do it so close to the other one or not. But
That's all right.
All right. Are you tired of going from dealership to dealership looking for an automobile or boat? Get in touch with Land & Sea Motorsports. They specialize in finding you the car, truck, or boat that you're in the market for. At Land & Sea Motorsports, tell them the type of vehicle and features you want that will fit your budget. They also offer shrink wrapping and winterization for all boats and jet skis. If your boat or vehicle need any repairs or cleaning, they offer a full detail division as well. So give them a call at 586-484-9798 or visit their website at landandseamotorsports.com.
Very good.
That's how you read that read.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I know you were upset with his read last week. So.
Yeah, very
I
upset.
had to find something to bitch about.
Oh, well, with that being said, let's get into the picks, folks.
Picks.
If you've had plumbing problems, you're definitely not alone. The next time you have an issue, there's only one place to call. Go to Pro Plumbing. They're a local family-owned company with 15 years of experience. Based in Centerline, they serve the Metro Detroit area, keeping your pipes clean and flowing with fair prices and happy customers. They're open 7 days a week for all your plumbing needs. The knowledgeable and experienced staff will keep you informed of their progress every step of the way to make your experience as smooth as possible. Call Go To Pro Plumbing today at 586-250-2881. That's 586-250-2881. Go To Pro Plumbing. When your pipes won't flow, call the pro.
It's time!
Hey, it's time.
It's time. I hear that. Thank you.
It's time.
We all had pretty decent weeks this past week. You boys both went 5-2. I went 6-1. So I'll take the W when I can get them.
Hey.
That's nice.
Nice.
I can do
Yeah,
that.
that's a good week. I was telling you before the show started and before Frank got here, my picks on the show were decent.
Yeah.
My picks overall in our pick'em
dog shit.
were not.
Yes.
Were not. It was like my worst week in the entire year.
At least you didn't have to face Kamara.
That's true.
I had to face Kamara, Diggs, and Brady in the
Ouch.
championship of our fantasy league.
Ouch. That's
Thankfully,
rough.
he didn't start Brady.
I mean, you know how
wow.
much I just have.
You don't like fantasy
I don't give a
football, yeah.
shit about fantasy football. But
you
seeing
can
all the-
understand how I'm feeling right now.
100%. I saw it all over especially Twitter. All these people just playing against people that had Kamara.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's just
God.
like, oh wow, so you probably lost.
Yeah. I actually won one of my leagues back to back for the first time in that league that
Yeah.
I've won that one. And it's the first time I've gone back to back in a league since I believe it was 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
So I'll accept that. I was in 5 leagues this year, won 1. I'll take it. And I'm still winning in the pick'em. So if I can get that win, it'll be a successful year for me.
Maybe I'll jump back in and start picking games since I have nothing else to play for.
I was gonna say,
There you
I think there's only like 8 of us that have continued to pick the whole
I
year.
know I haven't. I don't think Dave has. And
Yeah.
I don't know about any of the other guys.
Yeah, I think there's 5 to 8 of us that are still like consistently picking. So
All right.
Sounds
yeah.
about right.
Anyway, let's get into the picks.
On the game number 1, Miami, Buffalo. I'm gonna take the Dolphins.
Really?
I am. The Dolphins. They're trying to get in the playoffs.
They
That's
are.
huge.
They are.
I know Buffalo's playing for the 2nd seed. I get that, but
Is it Tua or Fitz? Who's going to start though?
Tua.
Tua's going to
Yeah,
start.
they already announced Tua's going to start.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate what they're doing, by the way. And let me just throw that out there.
I love what they're doing with Tua.
With in the way the coach explained it, if we've got to go to our closer in the
Yeah.
fourth, we'll go to. That's a fucking great way to
I
look
said
at
this during this past week when they were playing. I think it's genius what they're doing. You're getting him legitimate game experience.
But the Bills are still playing for position.
They are.
And if they're going to roll out a full team and actually play
Yep.
this as a normal game and not a Week 17 game,
Yep.
Right.
I don't see Miami beating them.
All right. I said I'm gonna take the Dolphins. They actually have something legitimate to play for. They want to get in the playoffs.
And you
So,
know what?
I get it.
And you know what? Listening to this, I'm changing my pick.
You gonna take the Fins?
I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to change my pick to the Dolphins. I know that's unprofessional to change your pick in the middle of the show, but
I did the
no,
first week.
I think you're. I think you're right. Actually, I think they have something to play for. So this means more to them than it really does to Buffalo, because Buffalo has, they can get the second seed, but they've already sewn up their division.
Yep.
They don't really need to win this game for any reason. So it means more to the Dolphins, and I like them a little better in this game now. Yeah, I'm gonna go with them.
Okay.
Solid. Baltimore, Cincinnati. And we don't pick this game because Baltimore has to win to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, they
Right.
do.
and with Baltimore, I looked at the whole thing and went, Baltimore has no reason to start their starters and any of that. And then I saw what you had just said. They're still playing for playoff spot. There's no way they lose to Cincinnati when they're fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
I don't care how bad Lamar plays at any given point. He's still considerably better than that Cincy defense.
Fun fact:
Oh, good.
the Cincinnati Bengals at 3-10-1 have more wins versus teams with winning records than the 11-3 Packers do.
Is that right?
That is
That is a fun fact.
fun fact. Fun fact.
So Aaron Rodgers sucks. That's what we're saying.
Watch your mouth.
No,
You watch your mouth.
no, but there would be people that would make that leap.
I know that.
Yes.
Because people are fucking stupid.
Yes, they are, as we've discussed.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Baltimore in this game. As much as I hate Baltimore, it's Cincinnati. I don't think they're going to beat them. Baltimore's got too much to play for.
I concur with you. I am also taking Baltimore. I don't see Cincinnati pulling another upset like they did against the Steelers.
Right.
But we all seen the Steelers. They're kind of a fraudulent team.
They're frauds.
But then again, Baltimore's kind of a fraudulent team too. As the way the season goes, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think they're less fraudulent now. I think they've figured out some of their flaws that,
I think they have as
we
well.
saw in the middle of the season.
100%. So yes, I'm going Baltimore as well. And Frank, you can round it
Yeah,
out.
we're going with the full sweep on that one.
This is I'll save this one for the end.
Okay.
Let's go. I can't believe we're actually talking about this game because it's such a fucking dumpster fire of a division. But the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. Both these teams should be relegated because it's fucking horrible.
I will take the New York Giants.
That entire division should be relegated.
I think, honestly, they should just give the division to Alex Smith and call it a day.
Yes.
Not even Washington, just Alex Smith.
Yeah. Hey, with this game, Dallas got hot here recently, and I don't think they're going to go anywhere and do anything, but I think they're hot enough right now to beat the Giants. I'm going to take Dallas.
I'm also going to take Dallas. Just watching that New York Giants offense, and I don't care if it's against a shitty defense. Their offense is so bad. And Dallas has been slinging it around pretty good lately, so give me the Cowboys. I don't think it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things because I do think Washington is going to beat Philadelphia, and that's a pick for later, but there's mine.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
I don't think they will.
Give me the football team. Green Bay, Chicago. And again, the only reason why we're picking this game is Chicago was somehow can get into the playoffs if they win.
I will take the MVP of the NFL.
Okay. A. Ron.
Yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay. Even if their starters aren't playing the entire game, I think they're better than Chicago starters. So I'm going to take them as they've shown.
Yeah.
A.J. Dillon can run the ball just as well as Aaron Jones, and I think their backups can beat Chicago. So I'm taking Green Bay.
I'm also going to take Green Bay because they would sew up the number one seed. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. If they win this. Yeah, and I get the Bears are, if they win, they get into the playoffs. I understand that. And it looks like they've finally figured out how to, play
The
offense.
NFC North would have 2 playoff teams. Oh.
God, can you imagine that? But yes, give me. We're gonna make it a clean sweep here, and I'm gonna take the Green Bay Packers.
Rodgers.
The Arizona Cardinals and LA Rams.
I'm going with the Cards on this one just because I don't think it's going to be as close of a game as it could have been if Goff was playing.
Okay. This game is tough because obviously Goff's not playing. I have no idea if Kyler Murray's going to play. But I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals. I'm sorry, the Rams are a fraud. I don't care who's playing quarterback for them. The Rams are a fraud. So
I mean, Seattle exposed them in the second half.
How about that? Seattle's defense is actually looking all right.
They've come around.
They have.
They've come around.
A lot of things that have started to come around at the end of the season.
Looking at this game, I can't take a team who's starting John Wolford.
Never heard of him
at quarterback. So yeah, I'm gonna take Arizona. If Goff was playing this game and healthy, I probably would have taken the Rams.
I'd still take Arizona because you know how I feel about Jared Goff.
Yeah.
I think that dude has proven it this year that he's talking about it. He's a fraud. He sucks.
He's nothing special. I don't think he sucks. I just think he's nothing
for
special.
the amount of money he's getting paid. He
sucks.
Yes,
yeah. When you include the amount of money he's getting paid, yes. But when you include him in the rest of the league of quarterbacks, I mean he belongs. He belongs in the league. He's just not.
Sure.
He's just not in the top 15 to 20.
Right.
he's down in the bottom 10.
I mean, he's fortunate in the fact that the Rams have a decent team.
Yeah, and they have a good
if
defense.
he were playing here in Detroit,
oh Lord, oh God,
they'd probably be worse than the Jets, to be honest.
Yeah,
that'd be like Joey Blue Skies. Yeah, there you go,
Mr. Piano Player.
And as we talked about earlier, the football team and the Eagles. Obviously, I'm taking the Skins because I believe Alex Smith is going to play.
Eagles.
You're taking the Eagles, huh? All right, even though they have nothing to play for.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be that team that fucks things up for somebody.
They're going to be the spoiler.
Yeah,
right.
I'm taking Philadelphia too.
Football team for me.
Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts comes out and looks as good as he's looked.
He's looked pretty.
He looks pretty
solid.
damn good,
I've
man.
been pleasantly surprised with how that kid has looked.
Imagine if they put him in, like 5 or 6 weeks ago when they should have.
They probably could be making the playoffs and winning that division,
right?
So.
Yep. I was wrong on that though, apparently. So whatever.
Yeah.
And the big one, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns.
I'm taking Cleveland in this one. It's already been announced that they're not starting Ben. Mason Rudolph is starting, and I just if Ben was starting, I might have had a tougher choice. But with Mason Rudolph starting, I think he's garbage. So I think that team is just kind of not really caring about that game at all.
Right.
So I'm going to take Cleveland.
Well, the fuck did I take in this? Oh yes, I'm also going to take them. I'm also going to take the Browns. I just watching the Steelers. I know
who the fuck did I take it.
Well, like watching the Steelers, even their comeback against Indianapolis, I kind of feel like that was. I don't want to say it was a fraudulent comeback, but I feel it was like induced because Phillip Rivers is trash.
It was almost a gifted.
It was
almost gifted.
Like that was a choke job.
Like
by the Colts.
Phillip Rivers said "Merry Christmas."
Yeah, he did. Maybe he was creating another kid the night before and he got a little tired in the second half. I don't know, but it just you saw it. It was just like okay, like
I was actually starting, and this is going to surprise him. For somebody who's been called a Cleveland Browns hater so much, I was actually starting to come around to them. Not that I was going to like them, because I don't care for Baker. I'm very open about that.
Yeah, you both are.
But
that's true. We are.
Yeah, the team itself,
and they're in Ohio. Fuck them.
Yeah.
That too.
Yes.
But the team itself,
and it's a team I root for. So when they lose, I know you guys get a little joy out of it. So I'm okay.
No, like,
I'm okay with
you
that.
texted me. You texted me during the game. He goes, "Do you hate the Browns?" I'm like, "No, I nothing the Browns."
Yeah, like
they're there.
You had said it, and it was just like I don't.
They're not. I nothing the Browns.
When it comes to teams,
Whatever,
I hate the '97 Avalanche.
Well,
that's about the extent of who
you're taking
hate.
it a little too literal. If they lose, you're definitely happy, as opposed to if they win, you're like, whatever.
I just don't care if they win or lose. It doesn't matter to me.
Was there a small part of me that was very excited for what was going to come today because of that loss? Abso-fucking-lutely.
I mean, watching that game, it was like, I can't believe this is actually happening. But
right.
Other than that, it was like, okay, cool, man. Joe's going to have some thoughts on it on Tuesday. Great.
But one thing about me, and I'll pull it back to the point I was trying to make. One thing about me is when I find a team like that, I kind of dip my toe in a little bit. I don't say anything about liking them. I just will start to watch them a little bit. and
Like the
go,
Padres.
Okay. Yeah, Chris and the Padres.
Oh,
Like the Padres.
like your new fandom.
That's right. Yeah, my new fandom.
I dip my toe in the Cleveland Browns water,
Yeah,
and I am running the complete opposite way afterwards.
that's fair.
I thought about it earlier. I had even said that I might change it. I'm not. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Woo.
I really just think after last week, that Cleveland team.
Why does it say Cleveland on here then?
Does it say Cleveland on there?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I might have. Fuck. You didn't know who you
I
picked.
did not
I
know
may
who
have
I
not who I picked. At this point, I've changed it 6 times, so.
And now for the really, really, really big one, Lions Vikings.
Nobody wins.
We all lose.
We all lose.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins gets paid at the end of the day, and nothing else fucking
I
matters.
mean, Kirk Cousins' agent. That's it. I'm taking.
He is the winner.
I'm taking that guy.
He's the true winner here. Honestly, this Detroit defense is literally getting worse by the day.
It's certainly one of the worst defenses in NFL history.
And they just released the one decent safety they had to allow him to go off.
Of course they
and
do.
go compete in the playoffs. Like that's not how the shit works. But
It is in
It is in
with the
Detroit.
Lions.
It is in Detroit.
that being said, I don't think they have anybody who can contain Cousins. If that makes sense.
Which is amazing. That should tell you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the Vikings.
Kirk Cousins' agent. That's who I'm taking.
I'll take C.
C.
I'm
Option C.
taking Cousins as the winner no matter who wins this game
Right.
because he's getting paid millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars
Right.
that he doesn't deserve.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm gonna take Kirk Cousins.
We got 2 more games. The College Football Invitational. I'm not calling it a playoff because it's not a fucking playoff.
It's not.
And
that
you know,
needs to be at a minimum 8 teams. I would prefer to see 16.
and you know how I feel about it. I think it's a fraudulent championship regardless of who wins.
I agree with
Yeah.
But since it's a thing, we'll pick it. We got. We'll start off with the Ohio State Clemson.
Clemson.
I'm going to take Clemson as well. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be close like last year, especially after some of the things that Dabo Swinney has said. And that, dude, talk about a fucking tool bag. That guy's a fucking idiot.
I think that team steps up though and defends his ass.
I think they will, but I also think Ohio State kind of feels disrespected, even though he clarified what he said. He prefaced what he said that I don't think they're a bad team. They're one of the best teams in America, but
They should be 11.
right. But because they have only played 6 games,
Yeah.
okay. But he made that abundantly clear. Like they're not a bad team. They're really good.
Yeah.
You know they could
They
win this
very
whole thing.
well could be the
They just
national
don't-
champions.
And I this is one thing I actually agree with Dabo on. They don't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
You haven't played enough games.
Exactly.
I agree with that. I also think that if Ohio State doesn't have T-shirts made up with the number 11 on them for if they do win,
Oh yeah.
they're idiots. You need to have those in
Yes,
case you pull this
yes,
game off.
100%.
Because I would absolutely wear the number 11 T-shirt after I win that game
It's
if
the
I
most
do.
important thing with shit talking. If
Yeah.
you're gonna say something,
gotta-
if the team beats you, you've got to steer right into
You
it,
gotta own
and
it.
you've got to own it.
And if I'm Ohio State, I have a couple play calls called Dabo 11, Dabo 11. Like I'm coming out and I'm using that shit.
Like Omaha, but different.
Yeah, like Omaha. I'm gonna take Clemson in this game. I just think they outmatch Ohio State.
Yep.
And not that Ohio State's a bad team. I'm not one of those Michigan guys that's gonna say
That has
Ohio
nothing to do
State's a
with
bad Team. They're not bad. I just think Clemson's a better team. Period.
So yeah, same here. Like I said, Clemson. I look at Ohio State secondary this year. It's not a typical Ohio State secondary.
Nope.
It's not a typical Ohio State defense.
And it didn't face any challenges this year.
It honestly really didn't, except
No.
Indiana. That was about it.
And if we're playing a full season, is Indiana that big of a challenge?
Maybe.
I mean,
mean-
they looked good.
They had like a fifth year quarterback or senior quarterback who was
They
actually
looked
good.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but
Yeah.
Indiana has had those seasons where they've kind of creeped up the rankings and then fell off later on in the season.
And
so
and
fair.
obviously Clemson with that speed on defense, and Ohio State's O line is not. Again, that's not another typical O State line.
Yep.
That I think they're going to get the Fields and cause him some problems. So in the end, I think it will be close, but I am going to take Clemson. And for the other semifinal, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Alabama Crimson Tide. I'll just make this simple. Alabama rolls.
I'm waiting for you, Frank.
You know exactly what I'm doing. I'm picking with my heart.
Yeah, of course you are. I know.
When it comes to sports, for the most part, I pick with my head. There's one team that I will always pick on my heart, and that's Notre Dame. They're going to get their asses kicked, but if Jesus Christ himself comes down and performs a miracle, they have a shot. So give me Notre Dame.
You mean if he comes down from where he's located over top of the stadium?
Yeah, right. Touchdown, Jesus.
Yeah,
No, they're in Texas.
The Rose Bowl in Texas.
I'm gonna take Alabama.
Yeah.
For me, it's plain and simple.
Yeah.
Alabama's just a better team.
Yep.
They are.
I'm not gonna dog Notre Dame.
They don't have any business being there.
I don't like Notre Dame, so I'm not gonna speak with my heart. I'm gonna say they're good enough to be there. They're not good enough to compete with Alabama.
No.
So, Alabama.
And that's the picks for me and everybody else.
And me.
And me.
Yes.
And you and me and all three of us. And
We got an Oklahoma State touchdown.
uh-oh.
What's that put the score at? 30-19. Well, you still got a quarter to go.
Yep.
You could very easily get
I
12
feel like
points.
this third quarter has lasted incredibly long. Seriously. Like, this third quarter has pretty much lasted our entire show.
It's been a long third quarter.
That's good, though. We what? We're about to get out of here anyway,
Yeah,
so you
we're-
can go catch the rest of the fourth.
Yeah.
Right.
We're about to get out of here. With that said, do you guys have anything else you want to add to the show?
No, just
any shout-outs?
Again, thank you everybody who listens and shares our stuff, and have a great New Year.
Yeah, that's two things I wanted to say. One, enjoy the hell out of your New Year. Like, I don't think anybody could be happier this year's ending. So just make the best of it.
As long as it doesn't continue into the next year.
Which it
Yeah,
probably
we're
will.
going to find out in January. It's like the
Yeah.
13th month of 2020.
Right.
Second thing, there is a wrestler that we lost this past week. I wanted to send a quick rest in peace out to Brody Lee from AEW.
Yeah.
Formerly Luke Harper
Yeah.
in WWE. Weird lung disease, wasn't COVID related. We ended up losing him. So they got a great tribute show planned for tomorrow night. I definitely plan on catching. So I just felt like acknowledging
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Yeah. And from everything I heard, he was one of the good guys in that business. So.
Dude, it sounds like it.
Yeah. So that's heartbreaking. Basically, just a shout out to everybody who listens. We appreciate you, and thanks for listening. So give us a like, a share, and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. As always, check out our website, sotdet.com. While you're there, take a look at our show picks and our blogs. Again, that's sotdet.com. Thank you to everybody for listening and watching. Have a great New Year. On behalf of Chris and Frank, I'm Joe. We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye, have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No.
Bye, buddy. No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
And you were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.